All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a long wait. Thanks to those of you who stayed around. Here is the plan. Ice Frog is looking, as well as the Valve team, they are looking into that last game to see if the save can be restored, if we'll be able to play on from the point we were at. We were actually completely frozen. It was not just paused, the game was stuck on pausing. So there was no way to salvage that game from within that
Radiant
lobby.
team
Now, we
ban.
may be able to reload a save game, but we're going to figure that out later. What we're going to do for now is sort of hold that game in stasis, and then we move on to the next game. No matter what, this is a
Radiant
best out of
team
5.
ban.
Even if mTw ultimately get a win for that game, they would still only have 2 wins. They're up 1-0 coming from the winners bracket, so they need one more no matter what. And we're going to play that game now. Navi on the Radiant, mTw on the Dire. First pick will go the way of Navi. mTw had it last time around. So we play this game, and then we'll have to figure out what's going to happen with that previous one. Especially if mTw win this one. Then we'll definitely have to stop there. Otherwise, we may just
Ten
be able to sort
seconds
of continue
remaining.
playing through here, because in that case, Navi would need at least one more. Anyway, you guys get the idea.
Dire
So,
team
we have
ban.
Navi on the Radiant, mTw on the Dire, and last time around, man, it feels like Age of History that game, but mTw looked very strong. They went for a lineup with no real late game.
Radiant team
Darkseer,
ban.
Tidehunter, Windrunner, those were the three core heroes. They ran a jungling Enchantress, as well as the support Rubik played by Cinneren, which was extremely effective. So mTw, will they go for the same sort of lineup? Off the bat, Darkseer is banned, so that option won't be there. Invoker, Tinker, and Lone Druid. These were the three heroes I said to keep your eyes on for both teams in that first game. And, well, Rubik gets the
Dire
ban, but
team
Tinker is still
ban.
available. That's something we may see mTw look to just snatch up right away. Sorry about that, guys. So we are inside the game. mTw just waiting to make their final ban here, and that for me,
Ten
that's the big
seconds
question. Do they
remaining.
leave Tinker in the pool? Havost has been playing it today. We saw
5
Dendi play it
seconds
yesterday. Either
remaining.
way, it's a hero mTw would love to run too. I feel it's sort of the last core hero that we've
Reserve
seen a
time.
lot of from both teams that is available. Of course, there are other great heroes in the pool. Windrunner, Shadow Demon, Leshrac, heroes that these teams would just love to get their hands on. But those are sort of the big guns, if you will. Well, who else is available? Panda is, and that's something Navi have had I mean, if not a lot
Radiant
of
team
success, then a lot
pick.
of interest in running. That's for damn sure. It's available. Maybe they'll go towards it this time around. Broodmother as well. It's a hero mTw would love to run.
Lycan.
No, Lycan is the one that slips through.
I
How
speak.
did I miss that?
Tinker.
But mTw, maybe this was a trap.
Radiant
They get the
team
Tinker
pick.
and the Prophet. And oh boy, as strong as Lycan is, mTw can definitely look to set up some early kills on him with the Prophet, the Tinker, especially that
Holy
Prophet, but
dwarf.
Brood as well. Navi go for some
Radiant
big split
team
push
pick.
here. Lycan, Broodmother, strong, very strong in that mid game, very aggravating to deal with. mTw have some global of their own to try and match that. I wouldn't say that Broodmother
10
or
seconds
Lycan they're
remaining.
not global heroes per se, but what they do is they sort of spread that map
5
out and
seconds
stretch it and
remaining.
force you to play that global style game with the split pushing, the ability to just sort of hide in the web, show up at any time,
Venomancer.
and wow, look at Navi go.
Dire team
Venomancer
pick.
is your pick. So Navi 3 picks into this draft, no stuns,
Sand
no
King.
disables really to speak of, just a venomous
Radiant
scale.
team ban.
This could be trouble for Navi. I expect they'll get at least 1 or 2 here in the second stage. Otherwise, you're going to have a real rough time with Tinker TP. Now, Prophet doing the same, so they're going to need some sort of disable. We'll have to see what that is. Of course, Broodmother can go for an Orchid, go for that silence. That'll help against Prophet's TP. Keeper of the Light gets banned out
Dire
here, and I
team
actually like this
ban.
ban a lot. We've seen mTw run it today, and especially up against this lineup, which relies on a lot of pushing from minion-based armies.
Radiant team
The Lycan
ban.
Wolves, the Spiderlings from Broodmother. Keeper of the Light will really shut that down, so this is a smart ban. It also would give mTw another global hero to work with his ability to bring allies in while in that spirit form. Chen slips through. He made it all the way to the second stage of bans, but he goes down now. I also want to
Dire
point out
team
Enchantress is
ban.
available. And mTw ran it with some great success last game. Now, as we look at their team, they have a Prophet, they have a Tinker. These are two heroes that will get farmed, whether it's an off-lane hero, whether it's a jungle Prophet. However they want to lane these two, they will be farming. Either soloing or the Prophet could be in the jungle. Even if Tinker's in a dual lane, he will be getting the bulk of the farm. So Enchantress is definitely an option in that regard, but it's also an option for Na'Vi, and that has to be the thought process here for mTw. Do you really want to risk giving this one away? They do. They ban the Panda instead.
Radiant team.
And it's a smart ban, I believe, because, you know, for Na'Vi, it seems like they're liking the Brewmaster because they can use only one hero pick and get some big team fight without really having to commit multiple heroes to an AoE style lineup. Instead, they get themselves an Enigma. mTw needs some more spam. Windrunner got banned out here, so that's not going to be an option. What do they look towards to help deal with this push? Rubik is banned. Windrunner is banned. And there's just not that many real popular heroes that provide that AoE. Maybe a Morphling. That could be an option, although I actually think Lina might be the right choice here. Pair him up with the Sand King. Gives you the double AoE nukes, the stun as well. And then you can run your Prophet in the offlane, maybe your Tinker mid, and then your dual lane Sand King Lina. That could work. Or you could run the offensive tri-lane. Who are they going to put up against the Brood? That's the big question here. Most likely it'll be Sand King. If you do that, if it's Sand King versus Brood 1v1, Tinker could get some protected, well, semi-protected farm. The other side lane, most likely. Or Prophet could go there, and then Tinker mid. Na'Vi do have some great ganking early on now with the Venomancer, as well as the Enigma. I mean, Enigma Puppy probably going to play that. We'll have to see, though. But come out of the jungle early. Set up a gank with a Malefice, and Tinker has no answer for that. It's why we normally see teams nowadays. They don't actually put Tinker mid, but this may be a game where it's the safest place for him to be. March is decent against Broodmother, but early on you can't spam it as much as you would like to. It's not like a Caustic Finale where it's a reliable way to clear out those creep waves. Again, for anybody who's tuning in, this series, when we started off, mTw came from the winner's bracket. They have a 1-game lead. They were 1-0 coming into the series because they come from the winner's bracket. So mTw was up 1-0. We started game 2, or the first actually played game of the series. mTw had a big lead. The server had all sorts of issues. Anyway, the server crashed. We were not able to get it working again. So Valve is working on the save game. That game, put it in a box. It's in stasis right now. A decision has not been made by the admins. We're trying to give Valve more time to figure it out. So right now it's mTw with a 1-0 lead, but possibly a 2-0 lead. Possibly that game would be remade. We're not sure just yet about that game too. mTw 1-game lead. This is game 3. So after this game is played, then we have to go back and figure out what's going to happen with that game. Will it be a win award to mTw? Will it be a remake? Will we be able to reload? That obviously being the ideal option. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the decision is. But for the moment, we get our game 3. If mTw win this one, then a decision will be forced. The admins will need to make a decision then. If Na'Vi win this, then no matter what the decision is with that game, they're still not out of it. So in that case, we could even go out and play game 4 without having to worry about whether the series is over or not. But yeah, that's what happened for anyone who's just tuning in. And mTw, back to their picks here, they go with Storm. So, I mean, this is one way to deal with that split push, deal with that strong minion-based army, as well as the wards being spammed up, the Eidolons, the Spider Ladies, the Lycan Wolves. Get yourself a Storm. Gives you that global, well, not global, but semi-global ability to sort of zip in, show up anywhere on the map, go for kills, punish over-aggressive heroes that are way too far up in the lanes. It's a hero that does need farm, and if you look at mTw's lineup, pretty farm-level dependent lineup here. Looks like Sandkey will be on support, but let's introduce the players. Sakshka going to be playing that Tinker. Funty heads towards mid. He's playing the Storm Spirit, saving up 100 gold towards that bottle. Effie Mad on the Sand King. Looks like a Stout Shield, Tangos, as well as the healing sub. Kebab, Sentry Wards, and Smoke off the bat. Worried about Na'Vi warding off whichever jungle he ends up in. Cinderin playing Prophet, but doing so as a support Prophet. And here we go with Na'Vi. Immediately, 5-man Smoke towards the Roshan pick. Get revealed on the high ground. They know Funzy's up there, but not in range. Venomancer was not quite leading the charge. Funzy should be able to live. Gale just gonna miss. And I think that's it. No, Funzy doesn't run back. He runs up and away. This might actually get caught. The Wolf Block. He meant Cold Feet as well. Will it be enough? Malefice only single point in it. It's not going to be enough. And man, this is quite a chase. But they continue. Funzy, a new set of Wolves. They are a bit faster. Sleight of Heaven. Big dive all around. There are no creeps up. Another block. Funzy might get trapped out. Will get picked off here. Na'Vi strike first. First blood. Very unusual choice there as far as the direction they took. Maybe they're thinking about going for Roshan off the bat. But whatever their plans were, they get the kill instead. Oh, I gotta say, I feel like if Storm had just ran this way instead of going across enough, he might have survived. So that's unfortunate. Brood is wood, guys. Indeed, indeed. So, what are our lanes going to be for MTW? Sakshka down on the bottom lane. Will he actually stay here, though? It looks like it may be offensive jungle coming out from really weird lanes. Are they going to double jungle? Looking for the Sand King versus Brood. They're not going to find it because Brood is mid. Funzy will be okay in this lane, but the player who's going to have a horrible time is effing mad. Do they have Sentry Wards on Navi? They want to go for the very early push. That's going to be the plan here. The Eidolon to the Wolves. Early run of Basilius and Puppy. And we've seen Navi do this before. They look to knock down 1, 2 towers as quickly as possible. Then they go back, they set up in the jungle, they go and push another lane. They try to catch up in levels, because they will fall behind doing this. But that's okay. They're willing to trade here. Oh, top lane, effing mad. Sandstorm in place. Are there Sentry Wards being purchased or sent out? Nobody's got gold just yet. And Navi's going to try to cut off the creep wave, just mow it down as quickly as possible. But look at what's happening. mTw doing doing the exact same thing on the bottom lane. And with March of Machines, they may do this even quicker. Just huge tower trades. Very unusual play from both teams. It's only a level 1 Sandstorm. Effie Mad eats a Gale. He's got the Burrow Strike. Should probably Burrow Strike into the trees. Maybe up and above where he is. He's going to do it. Tangoing out. Should be okay. He's trapped, but if he needs to, he can eat another tree. Arsart looking for the vision. Double Tango out. Effie Mad survives. And, well, mTw are going to get this tower first. Middle lane, but Spunzy taking some damage from Light of Heaven, but unlikely to see Light of Heaven get the kill here. Only a level 2 Brood. Brood relies heavily on chasing, which is not going to be as easy to come by in the mid lane, as you will be diving that tower much more quickly. And, well, with the early tower, does the aggression relent from mTw? Kabop heads into the jungle. Up top, effing mad. Still only level 2. Can go into Sandstorm. Are there sentries just yet? None on Dendi. None on Puppy. None on Arsart. Arsart's got the money. But that's a big investment this early. Doesn't really want to spend it. Effing mad. Right-clicking onto Dendi. Burrow Strike through. Creep's doing big damage. A couple nice body blocks here. He might be able to get the kill. Dendi drops low. Dendi's got a salve, though. And in comes Arsart. Fight going the other way. Effie Mad completely out of mana. The Gale is available. Gale's going to hit Effie Mad. Starting to take that right click. I think Effie Mad's going to die here. But while this is happening, tower goes down. The pressure continues in the bottom lane. Very wacky start to this game after a pretty standard opening in game 1. Big chase by Arsart. Really wants Effie Mad. Really wants Is he going to get him? No, I don't think so. Oh, the ward giving him sight. Looking for that Gale. 1 second to go, but there's your salve. Effie Mad lives. No, does he? Gale's going to hit at max rate. This is an outrageous dive. Where's that profit? Here we go. Arsart has overextended big time. Center comes in. No points in Sprout, but I think a couple more right clicks will get this kill. 2 more he will need. Creeps are blocking him. There you go. It's not going to miss. Thought it might uphill. In comes the rotation from Navi. They're going to go for a tier 2 top. But look at what's happening bottom. Sakshka and Kabop, they've already done it. They've breached the tier 2. I mean, it's not often you see a team that's got a Lycan, an Enigma off the bat going for this very aggressive level 1 push. I gotta say, though, it feels like the weak point here is Dendi on the Arsart. Not Dendi as a player or as a person, but that hero. I mean, what does it really do for you here? Doesn't clear the creep wave. Doesn't provide anything to tank up the tower. Would much rather see something like a Vengeful Spirit, maybe a Leshrac, give you that AoE damage, or the minus armor, even the damage aura, just to help the summons hit harder. And we also want to keep in mind, Puppy's only level 3, so, you know, the wolves are not that strong yet. Oh, Dendi, taking some big damage. Dendi gets picked off. Another kill going the way of mTw. And here's the problem if you're Na'Vi. You already lost the towers bottom, both of them, so Sakshka can just farm here with basic impunity. The only way he's going to die is maybe a Gale into a Cold Feet. You could try for the Malphus. But this means complete free farm, constant pressure from Sakshka, who, by the way, love this choice, has a TP scroll picked up already. Meanwhile, Light of Heaven in the mid lane has not really been pressured. Storm is trying to... Funzy's trying to hang on here. He's a bit behind. This is a tough lane for Storm, even though it's mid. But he's got a regen rune. He hasn't lost his tower just yet. And the spider lanes are going to be obnoxious. But they're not going to get you a quick tower. Storm has a lot of AoE, and I like this adjustment. Normally we see a Storm maxing Electric Vortex, or at least getting 3 points in it early on. Funzy's not going to do that. He's going to go straight for the Static Remnant max, at least 2 or 3 points, to clear off those creep waves, slow down the spider lane push. I gotta say, so far, mTw just playing this one beautifully. Gold going their way, experience going their way as well. And if we get to the mid game and Navi don't have an advantage, well, mTw with the better team fight. Oh, Broodmother, big dive mid. Arsart joined the fight there as well. They get a kill. Will they actually be able to turn it into a push? In comes Cinderin, Spiderlings fighting trees. And it will force Light of Heaven back. Storm being shut down early, but look at the pressure.